Welcome to Winging It. We're not playing Arkham Horror the card game today, and we haven't for quite a while. Okay, so actually, I have been playing Arkham Horror the card game, just not making videos for it. And so this video is to explain about that, why I haven't been uploading videos, and also to give an update about another project that I'm working on that I'm super excited about. So, I have been playing lots of Arkham. I haven't been making videos, and that's because it's just been too much bandwidth. With our kids getting older, and I've gotten busier taking them on sporting events. I believe I've mentioned that on the channel before, but it's just got to be too much. I actually started a Roland and Trish campaign through Scarlet Keys, thinking that would be very thematic and cool, and I was editing it and just ran out of time and energy and bandwidth. When I did have some bandwidth this summer, instead of making videos, I knocked an item off my bucket list that I've been working on or wanting to do for a really long time, which is write a novel, which is what the graphic behind me is all about. So I started working on and finished, or I'm wrapping up the last bit of edits now and recording the audiobook for this novel. It's called Failsafe. It's a science fiction thriller set roughly 100 years in the future. And it's not Lovecraftian in the slightest, but it is fun, a lot of action. And if you like that sort of thing, I'm going to be appending that, the first chapter's audio to the end of this video, and I'd love for you to check it out. And if you like it, you can follow the links to my author channel and check out, I'll be uploading more videos, and there will be information where you can sign up on my website if you're interested in the book when it comes out, getting the audiobook or downloading the ebook or getting a hard copy or a paperback. All that stuff will be available, and I'd love for you to check it out. So as for Arkham content, I'm not sure if I'm going to make more content in the future. I'm definitely going to keep playing because I love the game, but it's just a matter of having enough energy and bandwidth to make videos up to the standards that I want them to be for this channel. So I'm not sure about that. I told FFG when they contacted me for this last card preview round that I wasn't interested or I wasn't able to do that right now, but to keep me on the list, so maybe next time I will be able to. But for now, please, please, please keep listening, keep watching, and check out my novel Failsafe.
Chapter 1. The world runs on code, and not all code is safe. For this reason, Anna hesitated in front of the high-rise hotel room door, a mixture of curiosity, prudence, and unease holding her in place. Her partner, Lisa, stood next to her, posture tense with anticipation. While Lisa relished the potential excitement of stopping something big, Anna's own feelings were more conflicted. Tracking down illegal mods was what they did, and they did it well. But in this case, something volatile and dangerous was at play. The modder who'd given them this tip had been frightened enough to break the golden rule of her trade: only touch what's necessary for the mod. Allowing both her curiosity and sense of duty to carry her forward, Anna used her data lens to reach out and touch the virtual door chime, then turned to her partner. Be ready. After what Black Eye said, they could be running anything. A playful smile teased across Lisa's lips. I'm always ready. What Black Eye said makes me think this will be interesting. Anna opened her mouth to reiterate her urge for caution, but snapped it shut when movement from within the hotel room interrupted their conversation. A small area of the door thinned to reveal the heart-shaped face of an Asian woman peering out through an industrial-style, black-rimmed data lens. The augmented reality device covered her eyes with an unbroken sheet of glass surrounded by a gray metal frame. Though the remainder of the door still hid her body, Anna could see long black hair tied into a ponytail behind her and the lapel of an olive-green jacket. A calm voice spoke into her ear. Naomi White of Dallas, Texas. Simon, the agency AI, had matched the woman's face and provided the name. Text appeared on Anna's data lens as he fed her additional, relevant information, which, for the moment, she ignored. Naomi seemed unaware of Anna and Simon's interaction. Yes? With a quick wave, Anna sent her agency identification to Naomi's data lens, and beside her, Lisa did the same. Hello, I'm Special Agent Anna Flynn, and this is my partner, Agent Williams. We're with the Matter Manipulation Device Agency and need a few minutes to speak with you. Naomi didn't react immediately, and the hesitation made Anna uneasy. Her right hand moved unguided toward the service weapon clasped at her waist. Lisa glanced at Anna, the corners of her mouth curving into a slight upward turn, then returned to Naomi. "Ma'am, talking inside would be more comfortable." After a slow nod, Naomi's face brightened, and she produced a wide smile. "Of course." The door vanished, its raw materials relocated to an unseen cavity within the wall, and she gestured for them to enter. "Please come into our room." With Naomi in full view, Anna observed her petite frame and athletic build, as well as the black tank top she wore under her olive-colored jacket. The two agents stepped inside to find a man standing in a small seating area, clearly having just risen to his feet. Dressed in casual jeans and an open-collared shirt, he carried with him a sense of world weariness that was etched into his weathered skin and gray-flecked hair. Anna noted that the tired eyes behind his data lens were on Naomi, not the agents. Ready with an ID, Simon informed Anna that the man was Ben Jacobs from El Paso, Texas. More detailed text appeared on her data lens, but as with the information on Naomi, she set it aside. Shifting her scrutiny to the room itself, Anna took in the modern, expensive aesthetic she had expected for a high-rise hotel in this neighborhood, sparsely furnished with the typical pieces necessary for daily living. The most notable feature lay on the wall beyond the queen-size bed. An enormous window opened to a breathtaking 98-story view of the Houston skyline. Nighttime darkness engulfed the vista, and city lights illuminated the world with countless brilliant pinpricks. Anna's data lens highlighted a slate-gray tablet sitting on a bedside table. As soon as they'd entered, Simon had scanned for MMDs and found only this one. It seemed innocuous enough, but according to their informant, it contained unauthorized and dangerous mods. Now, though, it was safely out of reach of either Naomi or Ben. Satisfied, Anna's tension began to ease, and her right hand drifted away from her waist. Before engaging Naomi again, she held up a finger in a wait gesture while she reviewed the information from Simon. As he'd said in her ear, Naomi lived in Dallas. She'd moved to Texas from the Northeast about 2 years ago, and now worked at an apartment store selling clothing patterns. Ben had lived in the El Paso area his entire life, sometimes working as a security guard, and other times staying home as a full-time parent. He was married with 3 children. Neither Ben nor Naomi had political extremism or tech expertise in their backgrounds, 2 key markers for Anna. She pushed the data away and returned her attention to Naomi, who in turn nodded at Ben. "Hello, I'm Naomi, and this is my husband, Ben." Her tone was soft and amiable. Lisa stepped back at this, eyeing the older man, 20 years Naomi's senior. "Your husband?" She wasn't asking a question, but didn't hide her skepticism. Anna ignored Lisa's comment and offered Ben a pleasant smile. "It's nice to meet you." The names were right, but the relationship wasn't. Of course, it was meant to be understood that way, a lie no one in the room was expected to believe. But a lie existed beneath that lie. This was no sexual liaison. What were they to each other? What were they doing with illegal mods? She turned to address them both. "Agent Williams and I investigate prohibited uses of matter manipulation devices." Naomi frowned. "I gathered as much from your identification, but I am not sure what that has to do with us." "We have some information that you might have a modded device with you." Ben reacted to this with visible discomfort, shifting his weight. Lisa studied him with a raised eyebrow. Naomi paused, her expression taking on that of a chastised child. "I see. In fact, we do have a modded tablet. She smiled apologetically. "You must understand, we realize it's illegal, but this is our first time in Houston, and we thought a small region unlock would be something no one would care about." Lisa responded to Naomi without taking her eyes off Ben. "Oh, it's more than a region unlock. We wouldn't be here for something like that. A region unlock would get you a fine if you walked up and shoved it in the face of a beat cop." Injecting the smallest of gaps in the conversation's flow, she faced Naomi. "If we're here, it's because we know you have something a lot bigger going on." Naomi tilted her head and narrowed her eyes. "And what are we meant to have going on?" "You tell us." "I don't have anything to say. However, maybe I don't need to." Naomi turned and stepped over to the bedside table with the MMD tablet. As Naomi moved, Anna focused on Ben, watching him carefully. Experience from almost 20 years in the agency told her that of the pair, Naomi might be more dangerous, but Ben was the one standing on the edge. On the edge of what, though? He was nervous about getting caught, but what danger could he pose? Simon's scan had detected one MMD, and Ben didn't have it, so he wasn't a threat. Still, he was hiding something. Naomi picked up the tablet, carried it back, and handed it to Lisa, her pleasant demeanor having undergone a subtle shift into something colder. "You can see for yourself we have nothing concerning." Lisa took the device without breaking eye contact and connected it to her data lens. With a swift gesture, she pushed the feed to Anna so she could follow along, and Simon appraised them of his progress. "Beginning a scan for illegal mods." Anna relocated the information to a small corner of her vision with a flick of her fingers. She needed to keep her focus on Ben because something was wrong. His eyes shifted, and his body tensed. Her hand moved to the service weapon at her waist, intuition telling her he was about to make a move. "Gun!" She yelled the warning the moment he began reaching for something behind his back. Even though she hadn't seen a firearm in action in over a decade, she recognized the motion from her early days at the agency. Her weapon was quickly off her belt and assembled into a full combat staff. Without looking, she knew Lisa had done the same. The tablet clattered to the floor, forgotten in the face of Ben's threatening movement. Ben whipped out the gun and pointed it directly at Lisa's face. Anna's reaction was both automatic and instantaneous, yet still too slow. Before her blow reached its mark, the deafening report of a gunshot reverberated around the walls of the small room. Lisa didn't flinch. Ben had fired a single bullet, but its forward momentum was halted milliseconds after it left the barrel, a full 3 feet away from Lisa's head. Anna's weapon struck his hand, and he cried out in pain, dropping the gun onto the carpet where it landed with a thud. The staff thrummed in her hands as it executed its projectile defense program. The tiny, ineffectual lump of metal fell onto the coffee table where it lay still, and Naomi's exasperation followed with a half-mutter, half-accusation. "Foolish!" Then, as if a switch flipped, she sprang into action, drawing both Anna and Lisa's full attention. Her hands made an indecipherable motion as if executing MMD code, which puzzled Anna. According to Simon, the only MMD Naomi and Ben had was the single tablet. Anna let her confusion go when Naomi's gesture flowed into something she couldn't ignore. Knowing what was coming, she moved to deflect the bolt of energy that leaped from Naomi's hands. It streaked across the room in a flash before veering harmlessly away from Anna and fizzling into the floor. This time, her reaction had been fast enough. Naomi had fired a flex bolt, designed to do what Ben's bullet could not, shift its properties so rapidly and with such variation that it would confuse the code of any MMD program attempting to detect and stop it. That she'd been able to shoot it meant Simon's scan had missed something, because only weaponized MMDs could create flux bolts. As the burst of sparks died on the hotel room's carpet, Naomi paused for a half-second, scrutinized Anna's staff with an odd, almost confused expression, then executed another fast movement with her arms. A sizable chunk of the coffee table broke away and moved to her hands, now assembled into a staff of her own. Beside Anna, Lisa sprang into motion, releasing the pent-up energy she'd been containing since they stood outside in the hall. Anna darted forward alongside her, swinging her weapon and aiming a strike to land at the same time as Lisa. 2 years of joint training allowed them to fight as a single unit. Naomi reacted instantly, shifting her staff so each end connected with the agent's blows, then briefly shifting her weight back into her heels before launching into a counterattack. The 3 women rotated around the small room, locked into combat. Anna and Lisa held the advantage in numbers, but Naomi had more space to maneuver, forcing her attackers closer to the walls where they couldn't execute full swings. Stepping back, she positioned herself next to Ben, still cowering by his chair. Gripping her staff one-handed, Naomi crossed her wrists, turned at the waist, and made a sweeping motion as if pushing through water. A loud, thunderous scraping sound pulsated throughout the room, followed by the sudden appearance of a wall where none had existed before, slicing the coffee table in two and cutting Anna and Lisa off from Naomi, Ben, and Ben's gun. The wall muffled Naomi's voice as she yelled at Ben, "Go now!" Anna made her own gesture, attempting to pull down the erected wall, but felt her staff begin to shake. The barrier remained in place, unmoving, and she knew Naomi must be opposing her from the other side. This surprised her because with 2 MMDs working together, she and Lisa should be able to overpower a lone opponent. Glancing at her partner, Anna saw she was frantically examining her staff, twisting it in her hands. "What's wrong?" Confused and alarmed, Lisa shook her head. "I have no idea. I can't manipulate the wall." Anna grunted and focused on not losing her grip on the staff as its vibrations intensified. "Okay, I'll bring the wall down. Be ready for them." Lisa stopped her attempts to address her malfunctioning staff and instead gripped it like the blunt weapon it was, poised ready to attack. 3 seconds passed without either woman speaking, and then the dam broke. Anna's staff grew still, and the wall split open with a loud crack. She took half a second to glance through the gap before dashing forward. On the other side, she was unsurprised to find chunks from the left wall and floor missing. Naomi had used whatever MMD she had to extract sections of the room for her ad hoc barrier, but what remained was an enormous contrast to the tranquil, bland room Anna recalled from seconds earlier. This looked like a bomb had gone off. The gaps Naomi's program had left in the wall were large enough to allow access to the next room, and Ben was already through one of them, waving his gun. She yelled after him, "Run!" Not following his flight, she faced Anna and Lisa. A woman's scream pierced the hole in the wall, and with an almost careless sweep of Naomi's arm, the barrier she'd made disintegrated, moved, and reformed to seal the way behind Ben. Lisa turned and darted back through the hotel room doorway, yelling over her shoulder, "I'll get him! You take her!" Anna didn't even nod in acknowledgement. Instead, focusing her energy on the figure before her, Naomi had shed her green jacket to reveal silver bracelets around her wrists. These were the MMDs that had produced the flux bolt, her staff, and the barrier. Somehow, Simon's scan had missed them, but they certainly existed. Without saying a word, Naomi flicked her wrists, instructing her bracelets to send a chair hurling at Anna, who, with a quick dodge, avoided being struck by inches. Recovering from the sidestep in one fluid motion, Anna gestured to make her own weapon propel the 2 pieces of the bisected coffee table, spiraling at her opponent. Naomi spread her hands, and the segments flew past her on either side. Afforded the space by Naomi's defensive move, Anna triggered a restraining program, and the belt around her waist grew lighter. The raw materials that spewed out from it flew across the room and assembled into a pair of restraints encircling Naomi's wrists. Once they held her, the metal bands continued to alter, pulling her hands together, forcing her to let go of her staff. Naomi glanced down at her hands, then smirked back up at Anna. I don't think so. She twisted her wrists, and the restraint split and fell off. A second gesture pulled the staff back to her. Anna wasn't completely surprised, but still felt discouraged. The restraint should have been unalterable by anything other than agency MMDs, but once again, Naomi had demonstrated her bracelets weren't following the rules. "You aren't going to take me." Naomi spoke with the confidence of someone stating a fact. "We'll see." Anna launched into another swift attack. She must be relentless. Naomi was a skilled fighter, so her best bet was to win by attrition. The smaller bracelets would run out of energy long before the staff would, so she needed to keep pressing hard. Both women whirled their staffs and engaged in a deadly dance, attacking, blocking, and parrying each other's strikes in turn. As they fought, a sudden interruption by Simon broke Anna's concentration. "She doesn't intend to kill you. The flux bolt was only a low-stun payload." The distraction irritated her, but the information was good. If Naomi wasn't trying to kill her, her goal was to play for time. But time for what? The answer came in the form of another gunshot, this one muffled and far away. As if cued by the gun's report, Naomi parried one more swipe and swung her staff to land a solid hit on Anna's arm. It connected hard, and a jolt of fire fanned out across the left side of her body. Pushing past the pain, Anna crouched down and brought the other end of her staff around toward Naomi's head. Naomi shifted so that it struck her shoulder instead, but the blow was powerful, and she staggered backward, tumbling onto the bed. As she landed, she let go of the staff, turned onto her side, and rolled to a graceful recovery off the far edge. She tugged at an oversized comforter on her way up and ripped it off the mattress. As Naomi went for the window, Anna realized what her opponent intended to do. Both women moved simultaneously, Naomi shattering the window and Anna pulling up the floor beneath it. Naomi stumbled as the rising barrier lifted her up, but managed to clear the window before Anna could block her escape. 98 stories off the ground, she flung herself out into the open air, comforter in hand. Anna swore under her breath as she dashed to the window and saw Naomi flying away from the building. Encased in a wingsuit she'd definitely not been wearing moments earlier, she sailed through the night, a parachute deployed behind her. The comforter was gone, its molecular structure of light cotton transformed into tough nylon. Anna exhaled in frustration, considering how to follow. Her skill set did not include base jumping, despite a great deal of training over many disciplines. She could create a flying platform, but this high up, that carried a good deal of risk, and she didn't think she could travel fast enough to keep up with Naomi's rapid glide. Simon spoke again, changing the equation. "Lisa is down. She has been shot."